How's it going, guys and girls? This is Bready Ketchup here. This is a slightly different video that I've normally done, so please sort of bear in mind that this is something new. I've been playing with a friend of mine on Steam called Bready to Kill, and he essentially wants to get better at Mortal Kombat. I gave him a few games. Essentially, I'm just going to talk him through what games we had and how he should really improve. Okay. Bear in mind, online is a thing. The online on PC is not particularly great, so delay is always a big deal. But I don't have too much of an intro. I want to get basically just stuck in because this is just the benefit of him rather than everyone else. So yeah, first things first. You're actually doing the right thing there in the sense that you started to go in when you had a life deficit, which is what you always want to do. You never really want to you don't want to stay full screen if you have if you're losing the life lead quite substantially. You don't want to be full screen. So first of all, you realise very, very quickly that you need to do the lightning to kind of keep my zoning intact. If you don't do the lightning in earlier games, I'm literally able to just do nothing but just straight missiles all day. So you did realise straight away that you need to start blocking the missile and then getting a lightning out before I can do a second one. That's normally the golden rule of dealing with zoning or projectiles. Is you block their projectile and then instantly do your own, or you crouch the projectile and instantly do your own. In that situation, I pretty much just went in on you. Once I realised that you were using the lightning, it became very evident quickly that Sector can't zone Rain once he starts doing loads of lightning bolts. Because I can't punish it from full screen. I can only block your lightning bolt and then predict that you're going to do another one. Because if I don't do a teleport instantly, your lightning will actually catch me before I come under the ground. So it's all prediction based. Basically, apart from that, it was just a matter of I realised that I had to go in. Started to go in, and then I used homing missiles to essentially close the gap. So we'll see what's in the next match. I start off with the forward two. I pretty much realised that I need to get in straight away. Again, you do the right thing. You predict missiles or any kind of zoning tool, so you go for the lightning bolt. But it's a matter of always being ready for it. So you're starting to go in here. I get tagged by the water bubble, and unfortunately you drop your combo. I think execution's one of the big things. When you land a hit, you want to make sure you're always doing either max damage at all times, or at least every single hit leads into some kind of setup. Using up close lightning bolts like that is super duper risky. If I jump over you, I'm basically going to get a full combo. And in that instance, like I said, if I predict a second lightning bolt, I can block it and then go for a second. I can go for a teleport before your second one comes out. And yeah, so I'm basically trying to capitalise off every hit. I go for the MK3 strategy there of trying to do a jump kick to bait an anti-air. And then I just catch the back 2-1. So apart from just general combo execution, you need to start utilising Rain's roundhouse more. Rain's roundhouse is basically the source of most of his damage. His combos are quite difficult, so you want to, practicing Rain combos will probably help your execution anyway, to be honest. Basically the same thing there, where I block a lightning bolt and I predict a second one, so I go for a teleport. I go for the meter burn one just to make it safe. Your pressure there is actually quite good. You can go for the overhead or the low, but then I realised that you started going for the low basically every time. And then obviously sector corner mix-ups. That's pretty much, unless you're a character like Cabal who can just armor dash out, then those mix-ups are pretty much the same for every character. So I wouldn't worry about getting tagged by all of that. When you see me do a homing missile, the best way to deal with a homing missile is to just do nothing. Your meter burn roundhouse has armor, so if you want to armor through something, if you predict that I'm gonna if I'm gonna go in with the homing missile, right before the homing missile connects and I start going in, you can go for your armoured roundhouse. And if I do indeed commit to that, then your armoured roundhouse will just chew it up and then hit me and give you a full combo. So the roundhouse and the armoured roundhouse is definitely something that you want to do a bit more of. Apart from I think it's the back two, I'm not sure whether that's the string, but the string that results in either an overhead or a low that you've been doing up close. You want to make sure that you're also utilising your standing 4. Because 4 into roundhouse is a really horrible mix-up. Because obviously you can cancel the roundhouse by holding the roundhouse and then dashing forward to cancel it. But the standing 4 has so much block stun, you can do 4 roundhouse, and if I press a button in between like I normally do where I try to interrupt pressure, you'll actually catch me and then give me a full combo once again. Another thing I'll mention is when you go for the lightning bolts from full screen, which you probably do, yeah you do here, if you do ever tag me with a lightning bolt, like in that situation right there, you always want to be ready to catch your bubble. because normally if you catch me with your lightning bolt, it's a free bubble. It's harder online, I understand, because it's obviously delays a pretty huge factor, especially when playing someone like Rain. But if you do catch me with a lightning bolt, you want to make sure every single lightning bolt, unless it's a trade, will result in me being put in a bubble. Because getting a full combo off a full screen anti-zoning projectile is a pretty big deal, especially against someone like Sector, who, you know, zoning is quite a good part of his game plan. But if you're making me fear the lightning bolt by going into a bubble full combo, then I'm going to be way more reluctant to actually go for projectiles. So I literally play purely like a footsie game, which essentially, you know, it dilutes what I can do, because it just cuts out a fairly substantial option. So you want to make sure that every single lightning bolt is a bubble if you can. If not, just practice your B&Bs in training mode. If not, obviously there's a ton of combo videos online that you can also check out for Rain. So here, like I said, as normal, I start going in. You did the right thing there. You actually just blocked the homing missile. Generally, if you try and do anything else when homing missile is on the way, if you try and jump, I'll tag you with something else. If you try and press a button, you'll just get hit. So you want to either armor out of that, armor through it, or just block and take the mix up. Sector can't get anything off an overhead other than just the overhead on its own, so just block low really, and you can't really do much. And again, just sort of Sector corner pressure. Again, it's character specific. You can armored roundhouse through it if you think I'm going to go for a button. And actually, to be fair, I don't think you use the roundhouse at all in the set. So yeah, standing 4, I think it's 4-4 or it's 4-3, or it's the 2-hit kick string that Rain has. Doing that into a roundhouse and cancelling it is a really good pressure tool, especially seeing as the meter burn variation has super armor, meaning you actually take as many hits as you can take. There's no limit. Rain will never get hit out of his armor. He actually has some of the best armor in the whole game because of the meter burn roundhouse. And in this situation, I see what you're trying to do there. You're trying to just sort of catch me and stop me from chipping you out from full screen with missiles. But in that instance, there really is nothing you can do if you're going to make me block a lightning bolt, because you're so minus on block. I'm essentially going to be able to just block it and then do what I just did, which was an instant air teleport, and because you would chip damage away, essentially caught you. So generally with Rain, you want to play the anti-zoning game, and then when you force me to play footsies, just capitalize on that. Predict the standing ones. You know, standing 1. If I'm going to go for a standing 1, it's a high. So your use of down 3 is really important. When you swap it to smoke, you actually I'm not sure whether you realized it, but it was much more effective being smoke in this situation, because whenever I tried to go for a standing 1 to interrupt like pressure tools, your down 3 and down 4, it pretty much just shuts it down completely. You did it a little bit as Rain, but with smoke his down 3 is a lot better, so it's a bit more apparent here. The smoke matches, it kind of got a little bit more laggy, so there's a couple of like scrambles here and there, but you know, generally I think smoke was a good choice. The only thing I did notice, like straight off the bat, is you didn't utilize smoke's shake at all. So when I went for a straight missile, you would essentially throw smoke bombs and get a trade, rather than see the missile and then go for your shake, because obviously the shake will absorb projectiles and just give you a free punish, because I get stuck in place when you shake the projectile. So instead of going for the trades for the smoke bomb, then you really want to, if you see me go for a homing missile, then you just really want to be shaking it instead. And I dropped my corner B&B there, because online is great. I try again and I fuck it up again. But yeah, again, it's sector corner pressure. It's not as effective against smoke. The enhanced version of your smoke evade, the back forward 3. If you're in the corner and I go for an up missile setup, if you go for your enhanced smoke away while you're in the corner, out of the corner, it gets you out of the corner for free if I go for an up missile. I can obviously predict the teleport and move back, but obviously because you weren't using the smoke evade to get out the corner, then I wasn't really respecting it. I was just going for up missiles regardless. I was going for up missiles and then essentially blocking, waiting for the inevitable teleport, because you teleported quite a lot when I had an up missile on the screen. The only reason I would get tagged by it is because I essentially thought that, because the teleport's not generally a great option to go for, I kind of thought that you wouldn't go for it because the teleport was incredibly unsafe. So a lot of the time when I had an up missile on the screen on a knockdown, I would essentially go for it anyway. I don't mind straight missiles, because like I still want to keep you scared of the straight missiles. But there again, smoke's uppercut is pretty terrible. So if you're going to try and interrupt pressure, then you never want to go for the uppercut. You want to go for a down 3, because as smokes down 3 and down 4 are so good, and your back 2 is such a long reaching overhead that pretty much has the same range. If you can frustrate me or other opponents into blocking low because you're tagging them low so much, like in that instance where you go for a teleport, you could always go for just go for a back 2 or an overhead or something else other than like an unsafe move. If you're going to condition me to start blocking low, then you get more overheads. And if you get more overheads, I'm going to start blocking high again, which gives you more lows. And obviously the down 4, every single down 4 in the game, pretty much every down 4 in the game is advantageous on hit. So if I hit you with a down 4, if you hit me with a down 4, then you're going to be able to get, it's much easier for you to get in. And I'm not going to be able to play this kind of zoning game that I'm playing right now. And as I previously mentioned, like I don't really fear going for projectiles, because you're not going for the shake. You're just trying to go for smoke bomb trades. I really don't mind the trade, especially if I have the life advantage. That was really good, actually. I really wish I could have seen more of that. Sort of just going for the smoke evade to kind of get out of situations that you don't want to be a part of. And then obviously, like, you know, I tried to go for down 4, and negative edge gave me a teleport afterwards, which is pretty lame. Other than that, again, look, so here your low pokes that you're doing. I'm trying to go in for standing ones and sort of the higher hitting normals. And what I'm also starting to do is I'd go 1-2 back 1, which is the 3-hit string I'm doing, and then taking a step back, because I think you're going to go for a low poke, and then the back 2-1 essentially blows that up because it's a mid-hitting move. I kind of fucked up there. Normally you can do forward 4 into X-ray in the corner to get like the guaranteed damage kill, but I did the forward 4 way too early, which meant that the X-ray just went straight under you, and then I got hit by your X-ray because I was still recovering. So happy days. So pretty much throughout this entire set, you're using the down 3, which is good. And it's blowing up my attempts to go in. So in those instances, if you go for a down 3 when I go for my standing 1, it just blows it up entirely. And there's the constant trades again. Another thing I mentioned is, off a smoke bomb, you can get a full combo basically every single time. But because you were only going for a jump kick air throw, I wasn't breaking you ever, because you weren't going for max damage. So I actually kind of had the mindset of, I'm basically just going to keep my meter. Like, I'd rather keep my meter and just take like the 20% that you're going to do for that smoke bomb or whatever, and then use that meter to essentially get wake up attacks or to just do more damage to you. And there's that teleport. That teleport was good because I was still essentially highly punishable, but then I just go for a teleport anyway. And then obviously I went for the flamethrower, not because you had breaker, but if you had breaker then you wouldn't have been able to break it. I think all in all though, smoke's a better choice to go for against Sector, because you've got the shake that blows up projectiles. You've got the smoke evade, which shuts down a lot of my pressure. Like, Sector's corner game is really decent, but if you have the meter burn version of your evade, it essentially eliminates that, because I have to then start reading your teleport by jumping back or moving back. And even if you don't teleport, because I've read the teleport and I'm now further away, I'm not going to be able to keep you in the corner because there's too much distance. And they're like the same distance. You caught me in a smoke bomb, but you go for jump kick air throw rather than, like, you know, the 3 down 1 and then 2 into air throw, or at least. Whenever you land the smoke bomb, you want to make sure you're getting as much damage as possible. Similar to your lightning bolt, when you land an anti-zoning move, you need more than just the special, because if you hit me with just the special, that's not really going to condition me to stop throwing projectiles, because all I'm doing is trading with you, and we're trading basically similar damage. So in this instance, you don't want to go for the jump kick air throw. Go for as much damage as possible, because if you do more damage, I'm then going to be less inclined to start throwing projectiles, because there's more punishment for it. Obviously I dropped my combo there as well, which is unfortunate. So yeah, generally, like, another thing which you do sometimes is you throw a smoke bomb right in my face. You didn't do it that much actually, which is good. Against Sector, you never want to throw point blank smoke bombs, because the smoke bomb is -6. Sector's the only character in the game that can actually punish that, I think. I think Kung Lao might be able to spin it, I'm not sure. But Sector can definitely get a standing 1. So if you throw a smoke bomb right in my face, I get a full combo punish, unlike other characters that can't. Your breaking was actually quite good. Sometimes you broke it not so good times, because you're very weak and you're nearly dead. So you want to just keep the meter in a lot of instances. If you're nearly dead and I have a massive life lead, then it's very unlikely you'll make the comeback. Unless it's round 3, don't go for the break, because you want to save your meter for the next round. And then I just pretty much corner you there. Again, the meter burn smoke evade is really good for getting out the corner. Or even wake up meter burn shake if you're that dead set that I'm going to go for it, but meter burn shake's not a great thing to go for. So there's a bit of a shimmy there. I dropped my anti-air again. I was just waiting for the jump, because you did like to jump out of the corner. because I went for a lot of back ones, and obviously back ones. A jump in after a blocked back one will beat my next back one. So I was waiting for the jump, and then obviously I unfortunately dropped my combo, but corner pressure again, and this is pretty much going to end it essentially. It just comes down to the fact that you press buttons every time I did a homing missile. So yeah, essentially like with Rain, you want to make sure that you're doing anti-zoning if you're playing a zoning character, and then when they start playing footsies or trying to go in, you then capitalise on that with your own pressure tools. Make sure every lightning leads into a water bubble, and then essentially just keep your pressure, make sure it's on point. Be careful with teleports. You can teleport if you're dead set that I'm going to throw a projectile, and that gives you a free way in, but it is punishable. So yeah, basically that's pretty much it from me. The video is pretty much over now, so I don't really know what much else to add to this. I've talked for essentially 15 minutes straight. Hopefully you learned something, if not about like the overall game, about the specific matchup and little things to do with the characters that you currently play. So yeah, Rain, get max damage off your lightning bolts. The lightning bolts will stop any character from doing projectiles, and then when they go in, start capitalizing on your roundhouse. You need to start doing the roundhouse in combos and the roundhouse cancels, which are very easy to do. There's online tutorials for those. With smoke, essentially, if you're going to see a projectile, react to a projectile with your smoke evade, your shake, sorry, your back forward one. You can teleport on reaction as well, but the shakes, it's more of a guaranteed way of getting it. And then go for more low pokes, and then when I start blocking low, go for your back two, which is your overhead. And then pretty much just play solidly. Don't throw out unsafe moves. Pay attention to what the opponent's doing, and then when they start adapting, you want to start adapting as well. Hopefully you learned something here. I waffled on for a fair while, so hopefully you did. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. This video was mainly just for the benefit of a single user, so I don't expect many people to watch this, but that's fine. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll play some more games soon, man. Take care.